Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. The frequency of your body. I cannot tell you how powerful it is when you learn how to tune it, because your body is a real technology that is so underestimated. But when you learn how to tune it, and literally nobody tells you how to do that in school, in kindergarten, in university, at work, you know, like your body is just often seated and your mind is supposed to, you know, look at the screen or at the book or write something, and that's it. And I know there are people watching who are doing jobs that are not just, you know, on the computer or sitting in school. You're probably, you know, cutting hair, cooking, and that's great. And you know why? Because you're utilizing your whole body to live. And when we are on a daily basis utilizing our whole body, we're already using a little more of our frequency. And now you may say, yes, I work on the computer, but I also work out and I go into the garden. Great. Listen, we are not even at capacity of how we usually use our body. So the frequency that we inhabit at your normal state right now is not the potential that your body has. And when we start using our body like a technology, we become superhuman. I mean, Joe Dispenza says it all the time, but there are also other amazing people out there who talk about this all the time. But honestly, I feel like all my life on this discovery tour of, all right, like, how does the body work? How does the mind work? How does the spirit work? How does our energy work? And the frequency of our body can literally be tuned in a way that we feel truly alive. And you may have seen this scale of David Hawkins. Maybe I try to pin it, like to show it here, which is like this energetic frequency scale of, you know, very low frequencies are like anger and resentment and hate and so on. And then you go into sadness and grief, and then you go up to gratitude and joy and love and ecstasy and so on. Now, a lot of people talk about this scale and these frequencies, and that's all good. And yet, I think a lot of people are afraid to fall into a negative emotion as if it would mess up your frequency. That's not how it works. How it works is you have a home frequency. We all have a home frequency. And that is you. That is Vanessa. That is Eric. That is Patricia. That is Anna. You know, whoever you are. And that is your home. That's where you vibrate. Okay? So let's start maybe with what actually is frequency. And frequency is like, actually everything is energy. Right? So everything has a frequency, even this journal, yeah? Everything has a frequency. It just depends on what kind of frequency, yeah? And our human body, you could say, is like an antenna that can be tuned so we emit vibrational frequency. Yeah, and so our emotions, our physical body, our mental state, our spiritual state, energetic field, all that together creates the frequency in which we vibrate and that we emit as Vanessa, for example, okay? So if all of me is mistuned, not tuned, then I am in a state of misalignment or not alignment. So that also means I'm not connected to my home frequency. Yeah, your home frequency is your purity. Let's say you're born into this world, you're completely pure baby, that's the frequency you come in with. And then, you know, information is put onto you. Sometimes we also carry information from past lives, if this is something you want to, you know, you align with. And we We carry that with us to be released and processed in this lifetime, sure, but we still do have a home frequency. You could also call it probably the frequency of our soul, yeah? And to align to that, it's so important to, be in touch with our body. Often, mentally, we already, are more advanced. We already know who we are. We think we're mentally strong. We're analyzing, but sometimes we use our mind against ourselves. Yeah, and I'm going to talk about this in a moment. And then emotionally, we have a lot to learn, yeah, on earth. A lot of us are emotionally very immature. We don't know how to process our emotions, and that's okay. Yeah, that's not a judgment. That's a lifelong journey to learn. But we bring it all together in our body, and I want to talk with you today about how to tune your body and how to align to your home frequency or change the frequency, shift your frequency in a sustainable way. Because like I said earlier, often people are so afraid to lose that high frequency or not be high vibe and all that stuff. You cannot lose your frequency. It's impossible. You can clarify your frequency. You can cleanse your frequency, but you cannot lose ever your frequency. You may feel disconnected from your frequency. There may be dust, so to say, or there may be blockages to actually vibrate at that level of your home frequency, but you can never lose it. Yeah, it's really about aligning to it. So I made a few little, so when you see me look down, just know that there were so many points that I wanted to make that I had to write a few things down. So let's start with the inputs. Clean up your inputs. What is the information that you give into your vessel? Let's call the body or our energetic field the vessel. What do you give into that field, into the vessel? So let's start with food. Do you eat natural foods? Do you eat high vibrational foods, you could call it? I have a little bit of a disagreement with this language because it's so, overused. But let's call it, do you eat natural food? Do you use a live food? So fruits, vegetables, yeah, best organic. If organic is not in your budget right now, that's okay, but start with, eating fruits, eating vegetables, eating alive foods, yeah, not dead foods. What are dead foods? Processed foods, a lot of meat, a lot of animal ingredients, yeah, nothing against that. Everybody eats what they need and what feels good, but just make sure you eat a lot of, alive food, which is mostly vegetable and seeds and fruits and everything that is unprocessed. Yeah, so that is really, really powerful for whole foods. A few videos back we already talked a bit about that, so definitely watch that video if you want to know more. But that's important. Clean up your diet. There are all these seed oils like sunflower seed oil, rapeseed oil, all these sort of things. They're super, super unsupportive for our body. They clog our veins and our arteries. So I would really recommend you to clean up your diet to be able to feel lighter, feel at a frequency that you are even able to feel your body, feel yourself, feel alive. Yeah. The second thing is water. Talk about this all the time. Water is important. Drinking clean water, if you can filter it, even better. And honestly, our water today, it's a little bit dead as well. So it's really good if you put in your water bottle like a squeeze of lemon, a little bit of salt, Himalayan salt I would recommend, because sea salt may already have a lot of plastic in it, so microplastic. So Himalayan salt is from a stone salt, so it's less likely that there's plastic in it. And then the Third thing is media. Yeah, what are you consuming? What are you taking in? What is the input of food, of water, of media? Information, social media. Who are you following? Is this supportive, or does this bring your frequency down? Is this inspiring? Is this expansive? Is this positive? Or is it all like, I'm not like that, oh, I'm getting jealous, I'm getting angry, you know, like, is this, what kind of content are you consuming? Not just social media, but general legacy media as well. TV shows. Yeah, I talked with a friend the other day, and she said, like, wow, all the TV shows are somehow about death, somehow about loss, somehow about jealousy and greed and whatever. Yeah, so also be a little bit aware what you unconsciously take in, because your subconscious is sort of like the breeding ground for how you express yourself and how you live in your life, how you feel. And if if you take in death and jealousy and sadness and whatever and drama all the time, your frequency will somehow align to that, especially before you go to bed. You know, like, clean that up, because it's really powerful to just shut out. And it's also very hygienic for your being, and we talk about this in a moment as well, to clean up that part of you, you know, because what you expose yourself is what is coming into yourself. So be careful with that. Speaking of which, speaking of water and hydration and all the things that you put into your body, I want to talk about Magic Mind. And I've talked about them before, and I'm glad that they are supporting me on this channel. And my favorite way to take Magic Mind is I make a little drink out of it. So I have the shot, and then I put a little bit of sparkling water into it. And I don't drink coffee or anything like that at the moment. And I feel like I'm every day looking forward to my little shot. So Magic Mind is a mental performance shot, and the name is the game. Like, I wouldn't believe it before I tried it, but I literally feel energized, but not in this coffee sort of up and down way. But I take one of these shots often before I give a session, and it just gives me this really calm focus. Yeah, I feel connected, I feel in my body. I don't feel like I had to take something in order to make me alert. It's just very subtle. It tastes good. It just makes me feel really alive. And I just want to put things into my body that make me feel alive. So cheers, Magic Mind. Thank you again for joining me on this video. And I can just recommend you try it out if you haven't yet, especially if you're living in the US. Here's a little discount code for you. With Vanessa N20, you get 20% off with your order. And yeah, I can just really recommend it. Cheers. Okay, let's go on. Next point. So after what you put into your body, yeah? So again, food, water, hydration, and media. It's also about connecting with your body daily. Yeah, it's not just about the intake, it's also about how do you connect with your body. And that could be stretching, like movement, stretching, you know, that are all very simple things. You don't have to run a marathon. Go for a walk, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Build it up over time, and you will see that you don't just have benefits in terms of mobility, but walking is so healthy for you. Watch the other video I did. I'm going to link it here. I speak a little more about the benefits of movement, but definitely stretching, you know, your fascia, your muscles, your mobility is so important, especially when you think ahead. You know, you're going to get old at some point. And that's okay. It's part of life. But you want to stay alive. You want to stay mobile, right? You don't just want to have to sit in one place all day long. So even if that's you right now, there's still room to roll your shoulders, move your arms, you know, like you do it for yourself. And for a long time, I felt so annoyed about, oh, I need to move my body. And at some point I realized, wow, I do this for myself, again, your body is a technology, and when you tune it in the right way, it gets so powerful and you actually get to feel really alive, not just sick and tired. Yeah, so you gotta put in a little bit of work, but it's really worth it. Yeah, think about where else do you put your energy usually? Can you take it back and use it to feel alive in your body? Because down at the line, that's all you've got. Yeah, at the end of the day, that's all you've got. So movement, you can move intuitively, you can dance a little bit, you can walk barefoot, you can go into nature and take a little walk, listen to the birds, not just having the headphones in, and gentle practices like breathing. Just a tiny bit here and there every day, in the morning, few breaths, few stretches. It's already a lot. 5-minute walk around the block. Yeah. Don't go into fixing mode, because when you're creating a lifestyle that supports you, that tunes your system, makes you feel connected to yourself and life, you will also feel less depressed and less anxious, because you're actually showing up for your body, mind, and spirit. So a lot of people underestimate why would they feel anxious or depressed or have like feelings of self-hate and so on, because we're not listening, we're not connecting. And when we start showing up for ourselves, despite what anybody told us in childhood, this is where the power's at, people. I say it with love, but I say it. I say it because I had to learn it too. I really had to learn it. And when I started showing up for myself, I was like, oh wow, oh my God, I feel good, Third point, regulate your nervous system, which is already connected to point 1 and 2. Yeah, so practice breathing, connect to your body. I work with a few people at the moment, and I had that too when I went through this huge spiritual awakening. And there's not just one in life, by the way, that we stop moving, we start getting afraid to go outside, to connect to other people, to move, but your body is constantly processing energy. Yeah, so if you feel like tingling in your body, if you're going through a spiritual awakening or a difficult phase, the energy needs to be moved. Yeah, so it's really important, even if you do like EFT tapping practices to loosen up energy, don't do too many crazy things at once. Choose one, but have like a daily practice that supports you in terms of energetic, but also physical movement of energy. So that means in order to feel regulated, take a little walk. Yeah, we need to move the energy through our body, through the lymphs, so the toxins get out, because your kidneys and your livers are like the boss in your body. Yeah, and a lot of people who have problems with their adrenals, with their hormones, and everything like that, you need to clean your kidneys, you need to clean your liver, and these gentle things like water with lemon, whole foods, daily walks, stretches, movement and breathing, that already helps to clear toxins out of your body. Yeah, you don't need to do like a big thing or go to an expensive retreat. You can just implement those little things daily, because they will support you to feel healthier and more alive in your body. So don't underestimate the power of that, okay? So regulating your nervous system is not just emotional processing, yes, super important, but also your body can feel super dysregulated when we only feed it processed foods, when we don't go and get fresh air, when we don't move. It needs to move. Everything works together, your body, your mind, your spirit. And your mind calms down when you take a walk. Your spirit calms down when you show up for yourself. Yeah, your body feels okay when you process your emotions, when you're connected to a higher power, when you move it. Sorry guys, but it's really important. Like I wish somebody had made a video for me like that, because it is so important. Also, meditation to calm your mind. We're all constantly so frazzled. We're all constantly so overthinking without even noticing it. So take time to be in your body. Take time to be in your body. Meditation, 5 minutes. It's so accessible, okay? And then fourth point, clear emotional residue. What do I mean by that? We have energy centers in our body, yeah? So sometimes when somebody comes to me and says like, oh my God, I have such heaviness on my chest forever, and I checked with the clinical doctors and they said it's all fine, so it must be emotional. Can we do something? And we start working on it. So there, is a lot of emotional release that is going through your heart, through your heart chakra, right? So a lot is sitting in our tissues that wants to be released. I can just tell you from my journey with that. Sometimes I thought, oh my God, my heart is gonna break, my heart is gonna explode, I'm gonna get a heart attack. But I obviously check always with the doctor to see if there's something physical not okay, which is often like a consequence of the emotional and spiritual, right? So check for sure, yeah. And if that's all okay, work on your grief, sadness, work on your emotions, because it's so powerful to clear out the old. Because when you clear out the old, yeah, you will also feel less heavy. Maybe you're gonna lose weight because all that you're holding was out of fear or out of sadness. Like sometimes we're holding energetic weight, emotional weight that is not ours. Maybe it's, also from your family line, emotions that have been running deep in your line. So you may be the person who is breaking through those patterns, through those energetic and emotional family lines, okay? And I've been doing that, and I know it's not easy, but it's powerful. And it took me a while. Like fear would come up often when I think like, okay, wow, this is a lot of emotion going through my heart right now, processing. But at some point it got less, and now I feel freer in my heart, so you clear out all those channels. A lot of women, for example, have a lot of pain in their uterus or in their female sex organs because there is a lot of trauma stored from you, from your mothers, from your grandmothers, and so on. So that all needs to be processed. So it's old stuff. And once you process the emotional body of like the old, you have more space, you feel lighter, you feel like, oh, I'm not holding that backpack anymore, and then you're vibrating on a different level because you unblocked all that baggage and heavy emotions. Yeah, so you will also feel yourself more because you've not just been holding stuff from you've been holding stuff from like ancestors as well. So it's powerful to get in touch and feel through. And I know that's not easy, and take it bit by bit. Work with somebody if you can, because that's not an easy process, but it's a powerful one. And when you, it also happens in layers, but when you go there and when you do that, you will feel lighter and more connected to yourself. And in the process, you also learn how to process emotions, how to feel something, how to connect to, oh, this is a topic that is, present inside of me right now. How can I be with that? And as you've gone through the process, you now know how to maintain health in your body and process emotion and regulate your system because you've gone through that process. And with that clearing out, we get to point 5, which is raise your emotional set point. And we can raise our emotional set point when we process held emotions. Yeah, when we're not just having it in our space, in our system, but we actually process it. So we feel lighter, but we also raise our emotional set point when we create a gratitude practice. Yeah, maybe in the beginning you will not feel like, oh, I really feel that I'm grateful. Maybe you will have days where you don't feel grateful, and that's okay. I had this too. Sometimes I have this too, and then I really get intentional and ask myself, okay, what am I actually grateful for? What do I have that others don't? Oh, I have 2 hands with 5 fingers on each. I'm healthy. I have a beating heart that's healthy. I can breathe clean air. I have a place to stay, Start with the basics, but this is how you raise your emotional set point. Gratitude practice. Also, laugh more, play more, do things that bring you joy, even if it's super, super tiny and silly, you know, like if it's a cat video, or if it's, you know, sometimes just taking away the freaking phone and laughing with your siblings, your mom, your friends, with somebody. Yeah, just smiling at somebody on the street if you dare, you know, and just be a little silly and have fun. Do the things that you wish your childhood self could have done. Yeah, be around people that uplift you. Don't be around people that drag you down all the time. Yeah, because this is also dysregulating in your nervous system. If you constantly allow yourself, allowing is not the right word. If you constantly stay in places and circumstances where drama is recurring, then I would ask myself, did I grow up with drama? Yeah, because when we grow up with drama, we're unconsciously drawn to situations and people that create drama, because this is what we know. So if we want peace and joy, then we need to make a little bit of a change inside of us, so that we can say, okay, I don't want to attract this anymore. I'm going to process these emotions. I want to be with people and consciously connect and see people, oh, they are joyful. I want to rather hang out with people like that. Yeah, and maybe that means not being with anybody for a while and saying no to certain relationships. Or even maybe you can be the person who's silly and say like, okay, let's put this discussion aside, let's have fun, you know, with the people that are already around you. Because it's not always about pushing people away that are no good anymore. It's something that needs to be weighted, yeah, but maybe you can be the person who brings more lightness again to a relationship. Yeah, because sometimes we get so deep into the nitty-gritty of negativity and being right and being wrong that we forget the reason why we're alive, to actually be alive, you know. And that's not being alive. Being alive is also being a little silly and playful and joyful. Yeah, so it's important to maybe be that person for somebody else. So that's how we raise our emotional set point. Yeah, also to say no to, I'm not gonna go into that rabbit hole of doom. I'm gonna allow myself this time to be positive. Yeah, not faking it, but choosing it. 6th point, sound and vibrational healing. So that can also help you to cleanse your energy system and to raise your frequency in a sustainable way. Yeah. And again, I want to also mention that we can raise our frequency to a new set point, and yet when we get a negative message or whatever, or something sad happens, and then we feel sadness, that doesn't mean your set point goes down. It doesn't mean your frequency goes down. It's still okay to process your sadness and be sad. Be angry. It's not about not feeling those emotions. On the contrary, it's actually about, all right, if anger comes up, let it be here, process it. Let it be felt. Don't suppress it. Don't hide it. Don't live in it. Yeah. In order to process it, let's say your set point is here and anger is coming. So you dive into the anger. Let yourself be angry. Process it. Yeah, maybe say or communicate whatever needs to be done. And then once you processed it, you will feel lighter again and you come back to your set point. That's how it works. So with sound and vibrational healing, you could go to a sound bath if you ever heard about it. That's where frequencies are played that help you kind of like process emotions, relax your system, your physical system. Maybe old memories are coming up that need to be released, so that can happen. It can also happen that your frequency is being harmonized, so that you actually have the time when you've had a stressful week to come back to your set point, come back to homeostasis of regulating your nervous system. Sometimes when we're stressed, we lose our normal connection to how to regulate our nervous system, and our new state of normal is already dysregulated. So going to a sound bath or listening maybe even on YouTube to frequencies of 432 hertz or 528 hertz or higher frequencies like that is really powerful to also bring your brainwave state into a more relaxed state, calm your nervous system, calm your muscles so that your shoulders aren't up here but relaxed. Yeah, there's so many things you can do with sound, even humming in the shower or something. If you feel a little bit ill, you can hum and already, tune your body a little bit with that. So humming is really, really healthy. There used to be in the old Greek times, in old Greece, the hospitals used to have musicians, singers and instrument players to help people heal. Look it up, it's really powerful. And then also about sound and vibration, tune into silence. Sometimes don't use your headphones, don't listen to the podcast, don't watch something, like tune into silence. And that can be really hard for many of us, to be just alone with you and your thoughts. But if that's painful, you need to practice this more. You gotta go there. You gotta go and face the pain, because you're not listening to yourself. And if you want to connect to your home frequency and attune to your beingness, a lot of people tell me, I don't even know what I want, I don't even know who I am anymore. That's okay. But are you listening to the little things that your body is telling you, that your soul is telling you? Are you listening to your emotions, to your thoughts? And not in order to overly identify with them, but in order to connect and understand, oh, I'm thinking this about myself. Whoa, why do I think so harshly or negatively? Like, question, get curious. Yeah, not in terms of over-analyzing, but get curious. Listen to the little whispers that your body, mind, and spirit are sending you. Super powerful. And silence is also, go to the forest, go to nature, and just listen to the natural silence. And then maybe you hear a bird or the wind in the trees. It's beautiful. Yeah, powerful to regulate your nervous system and to reattune also to the earth frequency. Yeah, because that is the one that is also connected to our heart. 7th point, align with your truth. What does it mean? Notice when something feels off in your body. Read your body. A lot of people override the body because in childhood maybe you learned that you had an idea or an impulse and you shared it and it was a no, or it was ridiculed, or it wasn't important and it wasn't heard, or something like that. So your job is to now reattune to your truth. What do I like? How do I feel when that person interacts with me? How do I feel when I'm going into that space? How do I feel when I drink that coffee? Yeah, so feel. The body always tells you the truth. So start listening. And say no when you mean no. A lot of people go out on parties and they say like, drinking doesn't feel good to me, I get anxious, I'm not feeling okay. And then somebody is like, hey, you want a drink? Okay. So you just do it for social pressure. Don't do it. It's not worth it. People will still like you. People will actually respect you more when you say no to the things that you mean to say no. Yeah, no matter what it is. And then, living in integrity really matters. So that's not just listening to yourself, but also following your own word. Yeah, that's important. And then 8, energy hygiene matters. So we talked about it already in the beginning of the video, energy hygiene, in terms of, what media you confront yourself with, and what environments you confront yourself with. So for example, when I have a group session in person or even one-on-one sessions online, afterwards I always clean my energy so that I don't have everybody's energy with me all the time. That I can come back to my home frequency, to Vanessa, without having anybody else in my field. You can do this also when you went to a party or you spent the day outside. So when you come home, for example, a nice practice is in the shower. That's what I always do. In the shower, I always say, I'm giving back all the energy and power that's not mine to be transformed to the highest good of all. I'm giving back all the energy and power that's not mine to be transformed to the highest good of all. I'm giving back all the energy and power that's not mine to be transformed to the highest good of all. And I'm calling back all my energy and power from any places, people, or entities that may have taken it. And I say that 3 times as well. Yeah? I'm calling back all my energy and power from any places, people, or entities that may have taken it. And this is how, with the water cleaning me, I imagine, okay, everything I don't need floats away. And it's really powerful just because it's intentional. You can also smudge. So smudging is you have a piece of Palo Santo or some herbs and you put it on, light a fire, and you go with the smoke all around your body, your house. It's also cool to use like little cups and put water and salt in it and put one in each room of your house overnight and then clear it out, and that also energetically clears your house. Cleaning your house clears your house, opening the windows, letting fresh air in, intention setting. And then there's also something else that really clears your energy is when you really disconnect from the computer before you go to bed, and you disconnect from your phone, like all electronics, and you just take a moment and sit with yourself and feel and reconnect to your system. Yeah, and maybe you can imagine to let everything you don't need, everything that's not yours, like drip out of you like honey. And then you imagine to have white light clearing your body and coming in. Whatever works for you, yeah? So I'm just giving you examples, but you should choose something that feels accessible to you, it works for you. So find your own way with that, okay? And there will be another video coming up about energy hygiene and how to detach from other people's energies, but this video would get too long if we go all into detail. So watch out for that video, because I think a lot of people have social anxiety and have a hard time being in public. So we got to talk about disconnecting from other people's energies, okay? More in detail. All right, so imagine your body as a tuning fork. Yeah, when your body is in a good state, and also, and again, one more word about food, your gut, yeah? Like when you're eating whole foods, your gut will be of different quality. You will have less gut issues, and you will actually, with that, feel clearer in your brain. No more brain fog, you will feel more relaxed, you will feel more focused. And so, like using your body as a tuning fork is super, super powerful, because it is an antenna. And when we feel like I want to work with purpose, I want to have a purposeful life, no matter if it's writing poetry, writing songs, singing, cooking, being a kindergarten teacher, being a grandmother or grandfather to your grandchildren, and nourishing them with how you show up for them and, what information comes through you for them, to help them grow up and become the people they want to be. It doesn't matter what you do, even if you're a businessman and you're taking business decisions every day. When your vessel is clear, when you are attuned and aligned to yourself, information just flows through. It's powerful. Information just flows through and it's aligned. And you don't have to second guess it, because it is coming from a higher entity. So it's about tuning your vessel to be purposeful, to be more purposeful, and to actually get the informations, or you may call it downloads or pings or whatever, the little whispers that tell you, what to do next. Because when you're lost, maybe you're disconnected, or you feel disconnected from that voice, from your soul, from a higher power. And the best thing we can do in order to receive it is to tune our vessel. Yeah, and it's so empowering and powerful what can happen when your body is in tune with you. And that is a little bit of a journey, I get it, but it's also a super, super powerful one. So I can just recommend you to start the journey, get curious, you know, and get more in touch. Your body will be super thankful. It's a temple. And when we get really intentional and listen and slow down so that we can hear and feel, magic happens. Okay, so everybody, I'm gonna have my magic mind. If you haven't yet, if you want to check it out, you can still get it. Here's the code again for you. Cheers, and I hope this video helped you. Thank you for tuning in, watching till the end. I love you, and I see you in the next video.